What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on who I think will be the first villain coming to Phase 4. But first, guys, I've made a second channel called Warstu Vlogs. Not sure if that's going to be the final name, but it's the first link in the descriptions. If you could subscribe to the channel, it would be great. It's going to be very different to this channel. It's going to be literally anything and everything I want to make, and it's going to be personal. Also, we are giving away a Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet Marvel Legends on this channel. All you got to do is subscribe to this channel and let me know down below any Marvel related comment. Would be cool. And also, it is a freaking awesome Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinity Gauntlet. It makes all the noises. It requires 2A batteries, but don't worry, it comes with that. So we'll be giving that away at the end of May, which I believe is sometime next, I think we're halfway through the month, so sometime next week. It's a pretty cool prize. It's pretty cool. So if you subscribe to both channels, that would be much appreciated. And also, if you've got any video recommended videos that you want me to make down below or request, it will be pretty cool. So we know we are going into Marvel Phase 4. We already know it will be more cosmic. It's going to be cosmic with the Guardians side and the Captain Marvel side. Then you've got the street level side of it with movies like Spider-Man. So we know, by the way, that Endgame ended that Fat Thor, but let's face it, guys, Thor will be getting back to his original self. We'll be returning and joining as Guardians of the Galaxy. Without them, they're pretty weak, let's be honest. So we know at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Adam Warlock was introduced in the cocoon. We know that he is 100% coming. James Gunn is now back directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is great, as he made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2, so the consistency with the storyline and the continuity will all be the same. So now he's rehired, we know, after he's done with DC Warner Bros. Suicide Squad 2, which is also going to be great. We know he's coming back, we know Adam Warlock's coming back. So it makes sense now that he will appear against Thor in this movie. So Thor is crazy strong without Stormbreaker, but with Stormbreaker, he is arguably one of the strongest Avengers. He killed Thanos. He went for the head at the start of Avengers Endgame. So now they had Thor, it makes sense for Thor to go up against Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is also crazy strong. For them to build this movie around Adam Warlock going head to head with Thor makes a lot of sense. So at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we actually did see the cocoon, and Adam Warlock presumably is inside this. We had the first teaser. Now, if Adam Warlock is out there looking for the Guardians, where has he been? Really, guys, where has he been? So, Star-Lord is part celestial. He did have powers due to Ego, the living planet. But Ego, living planet's dead now. But I can see Marvel, and you know it's a comic book movie. We can see at some point that Star-Lord will regain his powers somehow. I think that is pretty obvious. So, Zac Efron could, shoulda, woulda be Adam Warlock. There's so many artists like Boss Logic, etc., making images of Adam Warlock who looks pretty awesome. He's not the only person that could play Adam Warlock. Keanu Reeves, who is in John Wick and was in The Matrix, he is 55 years old in real life. So a lot of people fan cast him for Wolverine, but realistically, do you think they're going to cast someone older than Hugh Jackman to be the next Wolverine? No, because that just literally makes no sense. So Keanu Reeves could play Adam Warlock. That would be pretty cool, but I would prefer Zac Efron. It is also highly rumored that Beta Ray Bill will be joining the MCU in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Would be pretty cool. He was first teased during a scene in Thor 3 where there's statues in car of previous champions, and it looks exactly like him. So if it pans out, that would be pretty interesting. That we'll be getting Beta Ray Bill and also Adam Warlock during this movie. So it is pretty cool that Endgame has literally opened up the MCU to everything, because we've got multiverse, we've got the snap, we've got the ramification of snap. There's obviously some big bad. There's no time stone, so there's nothing keeping Dormammu inside anymore, inside the dark dimensions. So the MCU is going to be pretty fantastic. So a question that does remain unanswered is, where is Adam Warlock? Because you have to remember, Endgame ends in 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out in 2017. So we should presume in 2017, Adam Warlock was released at the end of that movie to find him. We know Infinity War was in 2018. Then technically Infinity War Part 2, which is Endgame, started then. So where is he? Adam Warlock has had at least 5 years to come out with the time jump to find the Guardians. So Adam Warlock woulda, shoulda, coulda found the Guardians already. So who is Adam Warlock? Well, there was kind of a bit of a leak about the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie. So Rocket Creator is meant to be one, if not the only, high evolutionary. Now, would it make sense to make Adam Warlock this high evolutionary, or would it make even more sense to make Adam Warlock be created by one of the high evolutionary? That would make more sense. So him and Rocket would have something in common. They're both, I guess you could say, genetically modified into being what they are, because obviously Rocket Raccoon is a raccoon who is crazy insane. So I think it would make sense if Adam Warlock was created by the high evolutionary. So Adam Warlock shoulda, woulda, coulda appeared in Infinity Gauntlet, which is essentially Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, because in the comics he played a pinnacle part to defeating Thanos, but for some reason they decided not to have him in there. So Adam Warlock would not appear in Infinity War. Gunn said this at the time. He will have a future in the MCU, but will it be Infinity War? It will not be. We know that already. Gunn revealed that the Adam Warlock sequence was actually almost cut from the entire movie. Why? We almost didn't include the Adam Warlock scene because he wasn't definitely in Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. We had no plans for him in general, said Gunn. Directors Joe and Anthony Russo dashed the hopes. However, when they revealed in the interview that Adam Warlock was definitely not appearing in the film, Adam Warlock is not showing up in our story. Joe Russo said, our job, we've said a million times, is to tell the story of the MCU, not to direct the adaptation of the comics. So we're comic book fans. With James Gunn returning to the MCU 9 months after he was kind of dropped from the franchise, the story arc that Gunn started can now be completed, and the introduction of many new characters will commence in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it does kind of make sense why he didn't appear in Endgame, but it also makes a lot of sense why he didn't appear at the same time. So if this is the case, it means Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to have Beta Ray Bill. It's going to have Adam Warlock. It's going to have Moondragon. It's going to have Quasar. It's going to have Nova. So if this is the case, we know that the script is pretty much going to be the first script that James Gunn did submit. And even when he wasn't the director, they were still going to be using that script. But we do believe that he will be tweaking the script partially, because why not? So it's going to be very interesting to see how they introduce all these cosmic level villains and heroes, because essentially Adam Warlock will be introduced as a villain, but I presume by the end of the movie he will be working with the Guardians, if not part of the Guardians, maybe. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he goes from attacking Thor to being kind of buddy friends, I guess you could say, with Thor. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Endgame did actually introduce Adam Warlock without us actually knowing. We know they had the chance to introduce Nova, but they didn't use Nova because they said that would be more for James Gunn. So we know, obviously, Nova will be the last surviving, I guess you could say, character from the Nova Corps in Xandar, but it would have made more sense from a narrative, like storytelling point of view, to have Nova introduced, to see that deleted scene, to see the fight that supposedly happened. And as for the likes of Quasar, Moondragon, it's going to be very interesting to see if this potential, I guess you could say, leak that came from a very strange source on Twitter, that literally you can't really question the validity of the information, because he was right for everything to do with Endgame months before the movie came out. So the story is led to believe that Rocket was created by the High Evolutionary, and I believe that should be the case of Adam Warlock. But we do see Adam Warlock's cocoon at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with the Gold People, the Sovereigns, I believe that's how you say it. They basically say, go and get him. So Drax has a big surprise, supposedly, when he discovers his daughter is still alive. Rocket gets a love interest from Lila, his girlfriend in the comics, so that would be interesting to see how that plays out. James Gunn did recently say that this is going to be his story arc going full circle for Rocket, so that's going to be very interesting. Nebula and Star-Lord will grow closer in friends. I mean, that's obvious because they're going to be hunting down 2014's variation of who, what, when, how is Gamora. So I'm really looking forward to the future of Marvel even more than I am looking forward to like Avengers 3 and Avengers 4, because we've got so many cool characters. It's going to be very interesting to see Doctor Strange 2. I really am hyped to see Doctor Strange 2, although the information that we have about this movie is a bit skeptical. So from the same source, it claims that it's going to be set in the 80s, with the Ancient One, played by Miss Swinton, is in talks to return as the Ancient One. Clea will make her MCU debut and will likely be portrayed as an Asian actress. Most importantly, the gloves are back on. So Doctor Strange 2, for me, is my most anticipated movie, because I really hope this is wrong, because he does not have the time stone anymore. So it would be very interesting to see how that goes. And it also went on to say that Justin Hammer, General Ross, The Abomination, Zemo, and Ghost. So there are a lot of plans, And it says the leader is being discussed to return as the main villain on the Thunderbolts, which would be very cool, which is planned as a trilogy. Also, we've been informed that the Sinister Six has been built up, the Dark Avengers, so it's going to be based around Norman Osborn. He's going to show up in the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Far From Home. So the MCU is just going to get so freaking insane. So guys, let me know down below, do you think Adam Warlock is going to be introduced? Do you think the second snap did introduce Adam Warlock? Even though he was already in the universe, we haven't seen him since the post-credit scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And if you could subscribe to this channel and Warstu Vlogs, that would be interesting, that would be awesome. So like always guys, all your comments, theories, questions, like videos you want me to make down below, or hit me up on Instagram at Warstu, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.